Hi guys, how are you? I just want to say something. Make sure you guys are checking your attitude. Check your attitude. Check your attitude. And I'm going to talk to you guys about something that I've noticed, okay? And I know it has to do with warfare and stuff, but we still have a responsibility on our own to ensure that we are doing things properly, to ensure that our heart is always in the right place, to ensure that we are treating people the way we want to be treated, and to ensure that we are operating through humility and humbleness, right? So we still have a responsibility. Even though we may fight through warfare, we still have a responsibility as God's children, you know, when it comes to this. And I don't know if this has been happening to a lot of you guys as well, but I noticed something for like the past 4 days. I don't know what it was, but I did not feel like myself for the past 4 days. I felt like this I don't care energy, and I had this really stank attitude. And it's not like a stank attitude to where I'm mistreating people physically. No, it's more of a stank attitude as in like I had this like stank face towards certain things. I just don't care about certain things. It's kind of like I had this mentality like, God, I don't even care what happens next in my life. I don't care if the prophecy comes to pass or not. I don't care if this happens or not. It's like I just didn't feel like myself for the last 4 days. And I felt it strongly on Saturday. I felt it the strongest, to the point where I was like, I'm not even posting today because I didn't like the way I felt. And I knew it was not me, and I knew that it was warfare, but I still had to take accountability. And I kept stopping every time I felt this like specific mood would come in, like a bit of anger, a bit of like resentment, a bit of sadness. I'm just like, I rebuke it. And it was to the point where like I had to pray to God and be like, God, forgive my attitude. Forgive my attitude. Like, even though I wasn't talking bad to God or anything like that, it's like I just didn't want to hear anything positive. I didn't want to hear anything motivational. I didn't want to hear anything. I'm just like, I don't want to hear it. I'm tired of hearing motivational stuff. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of that. It was like that. And it was like I had to apologize to God between the days because I caught it. And I tell you guys all the time, when you are, you know, noticing specific changes, never try to validate a reason for you thinking like that and then continuing to do it. No, you always want to take accountability in that moment and cancel it in that moment. Because the more you enable it, it's like you're programming yourself to continuously do the same thing, right? So even though I knew it wasn't me and I knew that I was going through warfare, I still took accountability for it in the moment. I'm like, God, forgive me for this stank attitude. I don't like. It's to the point where I got mad at the fact that I even had an attitude in the first place. I was getting angry at myself for even having an attitude, right? And it was to the point where even when I was praying, I was like, God, I don't even want to be here. I'm like, God, like, oh my gosh, like, why couldn't I just be born in a normal family? Why is it everything that I try to achieve, someone's trying to steal it from me or sabotage it? Why can't I just be normal, like normal people? And that was literally a part of my prayer. And you know, I noticed that it was because of the warfare why I was feeling this way. And I noticed that, you know, on top of that, it was just me being tired, but I still had to take accountability for me feeling like that, because I don't want to feel like that. I'm not the kind of person that says they don't care about everything. Like, I'm the kind of person that actually cares. Like, I even care about things I'm not even supposed to be caring about, okay? Because I'm always trying to analyze the way I feel and to make sure that I'm doing things out of like humility and humbleness, right? So I didn't like the fact that I just felt numb to everything in life. I just felt numb, like, you know, like, and I'm just like, I don't like that. So I noticed that in those times of me feeling like that, I noticed that God was actually allowing me to get like full night's rest. I noticed that like when I was going through this phase, this 4 days phase, I didn't have to wake up as much as I used to. I noticed that he was allowing me to sleep. I wasn't receiving as much messages. It's like he was allowing me to take a break. So I knew there was something going on for him to do that. Because when God, like, usually I don't complain about waking up and getting messages, or I don't complain about waking up and praying, you know. So I'm like, if God is allowing me to sleep through the night and maybe wake up once or twice and not like 5 times, I'm like, he's giving me a break because something's going on, right? So, you know, I'm just here to tell y'all, check your attitudes. Check your attitudes. And let me tell you why. Because even though I felt like this, it was yesterday when I prayed and God asked God to open up my heart. I'm like, God, cleanse my heart. And, you know, please don't allow me to have resentment towards life itself. Because I was having resentment towards life itself. And that's when I started seeing all this stuff online happening around the world. Because I don't usually go on like news channels and all of that stuff. I usually stay away from stuff like that because I'm extremely sensitive, and I know that I'll cry. And me just seeing something like a child being abandoned, or a child that just got picked up out of, like, you know, an earthquake, and seeing like images like that, I will lose it, you know. And for some reason, like, God had me really like analyzing what's happening around the world, and it really humbled me, like, you know. And I just want to remind you guys, I know some of you guys felt this way too, maybe not to that extent, but, you know, I know some of you guys may have prayed to God, like, God, why can't I just be normal? Like, why can't I just be in a normal family? Like, why can't I just not have to fight for everything that's a basic necessity? Why do I have to fight for the very things that you say that I'm supposed to receive? Like love, nurturing, like, you know, a good parent, or that things that I'm supposed to receive. And I just, you know, God opened my eyes about something. I saw that there's good families out there who are stable, who are loving, but there's someone sick in a hospital with leukemia or cancer. There's families out there who are loving and who are stable, but the health ain't stable. There's something else that's not stable. They have something that I wish I had, and then we have something they wish they had. Do you get it? And that's sometimes that's how life is. Someone may have something that you want, but you may have something that they desperately want. There's a lot of people out there who don't have health. And although it's so easy for me to complain about the walk of life, like walking with God on this journey, and although it's so easy for me to complain about the warfare and being tired of fighting the war, feeling a certain way, there's people out there who can't just get up out their bed and go about their day. There's people out there who can't get up and say, I'm going to start my business, or I'm going to work on my projects today, or I'm going to go to the gym today, because they're stuck in a hospital bed. You see what I'm saying? There was an earthquake that just happened. There's mothers who had to use their bodies, mothers and fathers who had to use their bodies to bury their child, not bury their child, sorry, to cover their child. And they got buried under the falling cement, you know? And it's like, I understand this walk of life with God is hard, and we're always fighting warfare and attacks and everything, but we're very blessed, because being able to hear from God being able to tell us what foods to avoid eating so we don't catch cancer or so we don't get sick, being able to tell us, hey, stay off the road today because the devil has a plot for you on the highway, or hey, you know, here's what you should do for your next business venture. God being able to tell you, do not trust this person because this person is plotting this, plotting that. Many people don't have that privilege. Many people don't have that privilege. So yeah, we go through warfare and we fight attacks in the spiritual realm, but we have the privilege of hearing from God and being able to prevent ourselves from stepping into certain traps. There's people that come from good homes that are stable, that seem like they have a perfect life, but they're not able to hear from God, or they're not able to receive warnings from God. Do you see what I'm saying? And I understand that everyone's battle is different. And, you know, we can't say one person's pain is greater than the other, because that wouldn't be fair, because everyone has to go through something. But we have to also remember that just like we would love to be in other people's positions sometimes, because we do have days like that. Sometimes we see people with a loving home and we're like, man, I wish I had that type of family dynamic. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's sometimes, although we may wish to be in certain people's position, or not even position, because sometimes we love our positions, but sometimes it's like, you know, not even wishing to be in someone's position, but more like wishing we had something similar, or wishing we could experience something similar. Sometimes these very people would give everything they have just to be able to hear that warning from God, to have prevented that disaster, or to have prevented that sickness, or to have prevented being in that location at the wrong time. You see? And I humbly cried last night, humbly asked God to forgive me, and I said, God, if I had any type of attitude towards you, like, I don't remember speaking bad to God or anything like that, but I know mentally I just had this I don't care anymore feeling. And I know that's still in a way disrespect to God, because how can we say we don't care anymore because we're going through something, but God cares so much to fight for us to be here. God cares so much to prevent them attacks from fully coming through. Yet we saying we don't care. You see? But God cared so much that what would have took us out, God prevented. It's like a slap in the face when we say to God, I don't care anymore, God, I'm done. It's a slap in the face. So yes, that was a stank attitude feeling that I felt. And I admit that. And I repented for that. And I apologize for that, because how dare something like that come out of my mouth, knowing what God has been doing to keep me safe. It's like I felt like this, like, man, I was being this ungrateful child to my mother or my father. You know what I mean? It's like a parent doing everything they can to protect their child, to make sure their child has the best in life, even though there's still a lot of obstacles happening. And here your child is being ungrateful, saying they don't even care anymore, they don't want to be here, etc., etc. Now, I know we're not perfect, and we're going to have the human experience, and God doesn't expect us to be perfect, but I really felt like I was not being grateful. And I really felt like I needed to be humbled. And God did that when I saw the amount of things I saw yesterday. You know? And I just want to say, like, we should always always count our blessings. And not focus on what we don't have. We need to stop focusing on what we don't have and focus on what we have. Because a lot of what we have, many wish they had. You know? And it's a privilege to be on this walk. Even though sometimes it can be so hard, we have to see the bigger picture of it. There's people out there that would trade everything in their life to just have heard God that one time say, hey, go to the doctor and get this treated early before it turns into something worse. Do you see what I'm saying? Because I can't speak for everybody else, but God is on me about every single thing in my life. Every single thing, He is on me about it. Down to, hey, it's time for you to get your taxes done. Hey, don't go to that tax guy. Go to another tax guy because that tax guy is going to screw you over. You know, hey, you know, switch this, switch that. Hey, it's time for you to do this. It's time for you to do that. Like, God is on me when it comes to everyday tasks and everything in my life, and it's a blessing. And yes, you get attacked because the Holy Spirit loves you and because the devil knows that you have that access to hear from the Holy Spirit, and the devil knows that you have a slight, you know, privilege over many others because God can warn you about something before it happens, where a lot of people, God may warn them, but they may not be able to hear Him or feel Him, so they don't see it. Do you get what I'm saying? But the devil knows that because you're sensitive in spirit and you have access to that, he's going to go 10 times harder when it comes to you because it's a threat to him. Because you just being here is a risk to his plans, right? And I just want to say, like, I don't know if anybody else had this attitude, but we have to fix our attitude. Sometimes you just have to, like, humble yourself and know when you're wrong and be like, you know what? Even if you didn't say anything, or I didn't say anything to anybody that was mean or offensive, just the way I was feeling and looking at life itself, that was wrong. You see what I'm saying? Because God fights every single day to ensure that we're safe, to protect us, because he loves us. And here we are saying, I don't want to be here no more. I don't care anymore. I don't care what you have for me. I don't care what's next in my life, God. I'm done. I give up. Here we are saying, that's a slap in the face. That's a slap in the face. So anyone that's been thinking this way or saying this, it don't matter what position you're in. God is still keeping you here for a reason. And it's time for us to count what we have and not what we don't have. You know? Anyways, I just felt like I need to share that. I know this is going to help someone. I know it may convict some people. I'm telling y'all, I got convicted too. I did. And I humbly bawled my eyes out last night. Humbly. Because I felt like God didn't deserve that. And I know because I have kids, and I can fight to put food on the table. I can work hard. I can do all this stuff, and sometimes I feel like my kids don't appreciate it. Ooh, I don't want to eat this. And I'm just like, there's kids out there that can't even eat right now. And you're saying you don't want to eat that because it's not your favorite food? And it's like, I would feel offended because I know there's children out there that would eat that in a minute. And it's like God putting all his love in us for us to be complaining, oh, I don't want this God, I don't want that God. And God's like, I'm literally working on your outcome right now. I'm literally working on your prophecy right now. I'm literally working on the happy ending that I have planned for you. And you're just being ungrateful. The amount of demons I had to fight to protect you last night. And you're mad because you felt nausea from the warfare, not realizing that when you're being delivered from warfare, nausea is normal, gas is normal, headache is normal. So yes, because I'm protecting you from what these demons were trying to do to you, or what spells we're trying to put on you, yes, you woke up with nausea, yes, you woke up feeling a little bit sick or drained. But had I let them demons have their way, you probably wouldn't have woke up out your sleep. You see? So I'm just here to let you know, if anybody else going through this, just be grateful for what you have. Okay? I love you guys. I'll talk to you soon.